I'm married to a man who always compares me with his mother. I and my husband has been married for over 7 years now. But every time I cook, what I will always say is the food is not as spicy as my mom's own. It is not as this is not as my mom's own. I always hear this. I took it as maybe someone who is still adjusting to the cooking of the new man in his life. As time goes on, I noticed it's not only my cooking, it extends to everything I do. When I gift someone, especially my family, he will want me to ask for permission. When I buy things for the house, he will ask me whether I told him before, doing that or before buying such a thing. It gets down to the fact that I can't even buy anything, whether personal or for the kids, if he's not aware. When I confronted him, he always tell me that that is not how the mom does things. I could not, put together what that means. One day, I have to ask him, what was all this about your mother? What was all this about not, taking permission from you before I do things? He answered that before the mom does anything while growing up, she always takes permission from the father. And this is what I cannot understand. This has been causing issues for us. Even the hair I make, the clothes I buy, I have to take permission. Before I cook anything, before I do anything for the kids, I have to take his permission. It now occurred to me that my husband wants to marry me exactly the way the father married the mother. And that is not what I backed for. I mean, as an adult, I can't stand the fact that whatever I want to do that does not harm anybody, that I have to take permission from my husband. And this has been causing us a lot of issues. Okay. This is someone's story. Remember, this is Liz Talks, and our email is in our channel description. You can always send us your story, and we will share to others to know their opinion. Okay, so you're welcome to our channel. Referring to the story, let me ask, our mothers, or rather the way our fathers married our mothers and they took it, do you think because our mothers took it that another person should take it? Do you think because that toxic nature of your father, that because your mother tolerated it, that your woman should tolerate it? That is why at times when they say our mothers' marriages, that they lasted more than our own, I always ask, because someone is drowning and never asks for help, never deleted that fact that the person was drowning. And the person that reached out, and shouted when she's drowning never meant the person is a bad person. So, coming to, the fact that someone has to ask for permission to get the things that even she herself needs, I don't think it's a healthy relationship. I don't think it's something someone in a position, a woman, or a condition, a healthy condition, a woman should thrive in. I mean, as an adult, that nature of being an adult means that we should be able to take some certain decisions that are not harmful without having to tell our partner. If our partner can do other things that they feel, is right, why can't us, as the women or as the wives, do so? For a fact that a man feels his mother endured whatever the father is doing, means his wife should endure it. Is already telling you that, there is, in fact, the marriage is already hitting the rocks. Because looking back, you will see that most of our mothers, they were just enduring marriage and not living the marriage. Not living their lives. They were just there enduring things. For someone in this era to be talking about how the mother is living, how the mother is still doing things, we should be careful as parents what we portray to our kids. Because at times they tend to carry that trauma and believe it's natural. Can you even see why it is not a good thing that a woman should be enduring some things in the name of marriage? Because you're portraying that as a normal to your children, which they will carry to grow. Some of these toxic natures we see in, human beings are a trauma they carried from when they were small. Some of those men that their fathers are not responsible in the homes, when it comes to providing and doing something, they tend to carry it and believe it's the job of a woman to cater for the home. So, my dear, when it comes to a man trying to portray the type of marriage and family he has when he was growing up, is already, and I don't know, I don't want to say there are things we should notice. No, that is why at times it is very good that during dating that we should open our eyes. For a man, an adult, to still in this era be referring back to how the mom does things with the father without knowing whether the mom is even happy doing it. I think in your case, if maybe your mother-in-law is even alive, maybe you should have a one-on-one with your husband and her to ask her whether she is happy. Though some of them I notice some of those older, women, they've turned this toxic nature of their husbands to be the normal thing that women should see. That is why in our language in Igbo, some of this, I don't know where that dibundidi means husbands are things to be endured. Imagine. How did we come, to this conclusion that marriage is a thing that we should endure? That's dibundidi. This is very, 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 very bad. That these people have made our mothers then to conclude and have an adage, even for an adage, a proverb, I don't know, to come up with something, like the bunditi. How? This is something we realize. I used to say that we mothers of today really need to do more when it comes to our kids. We really need to do more and put in more work. How do you tend to tell a child that has lived all through his life or her life, seeing toxic traits in his mother or in his father? They are living toxic traits as if it's a normal thing. When they now grow up, you're telling them that those things are not natural. Please, as mothers and as parents, we should tend to be careful the kind of things we should portray to our kids that they should take, especially mothers. Imagine a man, a full-grown man, thinking that whatever the father is doing to the mom is the exact thing he should expect, for the mother to be taken. In this era, we should be able to stand up to whatever toxic traits we see in our partners and say no to it. Because unknowingly, your kids, you're modeling what they should, expect from marriage and what they should take. Tell me how a grown-up, a woman that is earning money, should be told what to do with her own money. Your own money that is not, the things you're doing is not as in bad, but your husband wants you to portray exactly what your mom is portraying. And when you don't do that, it becomes a problem. Tell me, how come? Because he had lived in a home all his life that is, what the father does. And please, woman, don't ever make it, a normal thing. That whatever you say in marriage, that you should take it, and leave it as if it's normal. Speak it out. In whatever way you want to, say that this is wrong and I don't want it, say it. Let's stop the toxic traits. Because our kids will tend to carry those things on. So please tell me, what do you think in the comment section? Do you think that a man, should see those things that their parents, their fathers are doing as normal and tend to, take it up and start? Do you think for the man that is not his fault? Because I believe that somehow is a trauma that he's carrying. Do you think the man is to be blamed or the father is to be blamed? But for me, I think that as we are growing, there are things we know that are bad that we should start dropping. That is why at times there are marriage counselors, outside our family. Because that family, tend to believe in things that are not even okay at times. For a fact, going to this kind of a father or a mother that have lived through this toxic, environments and conditions to ask for advice, what do you think that father or that mother will tell the couple or the wife that is trying to complain? Of course, to the mother, it's normal. That's how I did mine. I always tell my husband, I always ask for permission before I buy things for myself. And the man, he will tell you, yes, that is how it's supposed to be. But looking at the real, nature and the real thing to do, it is not the right thing. So please, if you know that you have lived a life of trauma, please get help. Because I believe even for the man, he is traumatized. The husband is traumatized. This is not that, it is not life. And he should get help. So Please, this is still Bliss Talks, and here we talk about everything that concerns marriage, dating, and family. And if you want to drop your story to hear the opinion of others, we have our email on our channel description. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and to like this video.